There we go. Hello, everybody. Hello. Late night for Lori. Late night crafting with Lori. Late night crafting. I know. What am I doing up past my bedtime? Well, it's been driving me crazy. I want to make another rose because I want to see if the technique I just did the other day on the winter rose does indeed work the same way every time. So I am going to make a two-colored Halloween rose. Now, if you have subscribed to our text messaging, you should have received a message. Hello. But I am like, I have to see if it works again. So if you missed my live doing the winter rose, welcome. You're going to watch me do a Halloween rose. And I'm going to be using this. This is the new mesh. The new mesh that's out that is kind of similar to poly burlap, but half the price. Hello. So I think this mesh is maybe $5 a roll now. I love this mesh. Okay, we got it in almost every color now. It's got amazing coverage. It's inexpensive. And it comes in like solids, and it comes in stripes that matches the solids. Isn't that cool? So I'm going to try and make a rose with this. I want to see how it works. I've never made one with this new mesh. And I want to proof I want to proof the way I made it, the winter one. I want to see if it works again. My nose is much better. I would say I'm at 90% now. You guys can see. It's not huge anymore. Well, huger. I'm Hungarian, so I have a Hungarian schnoz. But the redness is almost gone. I can touch it. I can wiggle it. And all the cellulitis at the end is almost gone. So, yay! Yay! This is called a horizontal wide stripe mesh. We have it in every color you can think of now. This particular one that I'm using, the black and orange. So you will see that there's stripes, striped mesh with, we do have the solid colors that goes with all the stripes. So you could either use black or you could use the orange. We have both. Like I said, I'm going to make a black Halloween rose. I think it's going to be super cool. So this, just for FYI, this one is RE8902E8. That's the black and orange stripe. We have all kinds of different colored stripes. We still have more coming in. I just love this stuff. I love it. But I've never done a rose with it. That's why I'm going to do one. And this black is RE890002. It does not fray as bad as poly burlap, which is a plus. Now I'm doing a rose, so I didn't have to heat seal or wood burn anything. So, but like I said, it doesn't fray as bad. So, and it keeps, it's very good coverage, and it keeps its shape really well. So let's make a rose with this stuff. All right, let me have a little sip here. I just finished an hour and a half in the VIP group tonight. No bling rope yet. It keeps saying it's on its way. We'll see. I will let you guys know when the bling rope comes in. Like everything's just backed up. Okay, so I'm going to be using the large board again. Okay, now when I did, I'm going to zoom down here. I wrote my stuff on the board, okay? Because I am going to be alternating between black and orange, okay? We'll see how funky this turns out. So we are going to be doing every other for row 2 for the going outwards, and then every other going inwards. So the new thing is I did the 4 spots on row 2. I started at the top where the number 2 is. We're going to go to the bottom, straight across, and the 2 sides. So we're starting at the 4 center points, okay? This mesh is, it says it's 10 inches, it's 10 and a half. I don't know, I've been through the wholesaler with this already, but it is 10 and a half inches. I am just cutting, I will be cutting my mesh 10 and a half by 10 and a half for the outside row. I only cut a couple because I did pre-make a whole bunch, so we're not totally here all night. So you're going to cut right up through the different strips here. You're going to cut 10 and a half inch pieces, okay? And I'm not going to go through too many of the how to make the petal because it's the same rose petal as always. So you're going to take your piece of mesh. Hello, good evening, everybody. I know I'm normally not on this late, but I just had to try something, and tomorrow's really busy, and so is Wednesday. So tonight's the only time I could try it. You're going to take your 10 and a half by 10 and a half inch piece. Put it in a diamond shape. I have my factory edge at the top left, like I always do. We're going to take that top corner. We're going to bring it down to the bottom corner. Meet the sides up like that. So if you have a perfect square, the sides should meet up. Do not worry about heat sealing or wood burning your mesh to make a rose because you will not see any of the edges of the petals, okay? So don't waste your time. What I'm going to do is pinch it in the center. So we have like a triangle shape or a, what did I call it? Stingray. You're going to pinch it in the middle, and I bring the 2 sides in, and this is what we have. Now, this is what I love about this mesh. It holds its shape so well. Not like a poly burlap where a poly burlap, once you flatten it, it kind of stays flat. So I'm going to take, let me pull that out. I'm going to tip the end of my petal here, and like I preloaded the 4 on row 2, top, bottom, side, side. Going to go inwards towards the center of the wreath board and zip tie that in, okay? I'm going to do this one now, exactly the same. Take your 10 by 10. Thank you for shipping me over the falls. Curl up, so when you let go of it, it curls it up, top, bottom corner. Alrighty. We're going to pinch it in the center, right down at the bottom tail here. So make our stingray or umbrella, whatever you want to call it. Take that tail, bring it into your preloaded zip tie on row 2, towards the center, till the tail hits about the next row, and zip tie it in, okay? I got a bunch already made here. So if you want to pre-make them like me, you just have to use little elastic bands that I get at the dollar store in the hair section. So you can make basket full of petals all ready to go. and then you just whip them into your zip tie. You did try it. I'm so glad. I'm trying it again because I want to make sure that it like really does work and that I've taught it properly. Okay, so we're going to do 4 of these. Alrighty, so we got the 4. And now what we're going to do is there's 3 holes on row 1. 1, 2, 3 in between each of these 4 petals. I even wrote on here, so I needed 20 black and 19 black and orange. So I knew how many to cut, okay? You're going to put your zip tie in the middle hole of the 3, just down, and have it sitting on your board and table. You can do it up just a little bit. And what you're going to do is you're going to take the corner to your right, put it in. I want to make sure that the edges are lined up. Put this in. So you're kind of making an X, like an X shape in that zip tie, and then pull it tight. Okay, and then we're going to go just spin your board around. We got the 3 holes again. Again, I'm going to use this middle one. This is the new wide stripe. Like I said, I've never made a rose with it, so we're trying it out on a Halloween rose. Alrighty. I want to make sure that's lined up. And this will give that scalloped edge of the outside of the rose, but it also covers the side of the boards. All right, once you got it in, zip tie it up. One, two, three. Again, we're going in the middle here. Now you don't want to tuck it in too much, just till the whole, about 1.5 inches, 2 inches of this corner needs to be in there. I don't think this was a pure 10 by 10.5 by 10.5 piece, but that's okay. I love how it keeps it, like if you open it up, look how it stays puffed up. This mesh is amazing. Not just for flowers, for everything. Now it's not as flexible as the snowdrift mesh that I used, but it will work. All right, there is our outside edge. I'm going to open these up just a bit, so because we don't want a cinnamon bun, you want to keep it nice and rounded. All right, perfect. Now we're going to cut. We're going to cut these tails off. Make sure it's nice and tight so those corners don't slip out of the zip tie. This is it's called a horizontal wide stripe mesh. It's inexpensive. It's pretty amazing. It comes in so many different fabulous colors. All right, and these are, I always have like a bucket here because I throw these in our plastic recycling after my little bucket gets full because they are recyclable. Okay. All right, so now what we're going to do is we are going to go right where that zip tie, these 4 zip ties on row 1, I'm going to preload, which is going down and up. 1, 2, and I'm going to be using black and orange. So I have BO, black and orange. Okay, so we got these 4 because we're going to put some black and orange in there. We are also going to put a zip tie over top of the zip tie that's already there on the petals where the tail is. And you'll see first in a second why. From the Sue, well, hello from Sue St. Marie. You definitely can make, you can make anything with this mesh. Okay, so I have some black and orange cut. And what I'm going to do is we're going to put the tail right in like we did with the black in the 4 where I have marked black and orange. You like my bolt cutters? These are awesome. I sell these in the store. They're for when I'm using florals and stuff, but I end up grabbing them for everything. So everything I'm using tonight you can buy on uniqueinthecreek.com. And there's all different colors. So you can do a 2-toned colored mesh or a rose. You don't have to do black and orange, obviously. But all right, we got those 4 pieces in. I'm going to cut those tails off. Alrighty. Now what we're going to do is going to take the corner and put it into this zip tie that we put over top of the black mesh here. And it's going to, once we zip tie them all in, it gives us a nice scalloped edge for our rose. So just go around. You just put each neighboring one in. And open these up because the mesh will puff up. We want the mesh to puff up because if the mesh lays flat, it's going to look like a cinnamon bun. We don't want our rose looking like a cinnamon bun. Okay, so we have done that. Let's cut our we are done the outside row. And now you can take your mesh, just pull it so it opens up and it's kind of poofy. And this is going to fill up really quick once we start adding everything in. Okay, so the only thing I have to do on row 2 is before I start getting into all the other rows, like rows 5, 4, 3, because it'll start getting really full, I am going to preload these holes. When you flip it over, these empty ones, we're going to preload those because we're going to get to those at the end of the rows. And I do want to show you guys what I did for some green leaves. I put some green leaves we're going to put on this, but I did a real cool technique to the green mesh to make it look spooky. Are you guys going home? Danielle going home? Yep. Bye, Danielle.
How's your life?
Huh?
How's your life? I'm
alive again. I was live on the VIP group. Now I'm live on my main page.
Oh.
This is my second one.
You're a busy lady.
Well, I had to.
Everybody.
I wanted to get.
Lauren here from Unique in the Creek.
No, that's Mitchell from here.
Oh, it's Mitchell here from Unique in the Creek.
You gotta make one. You gotta make one of these days. Yeah.
We sell wreaths.
You sell wreaths? You don't sell wreaths.
Wreath supplies.
Everybody wants you to make a wreath.
I kind of want to see you make a wreath.
Buy it at uniqueinthecreek.com.
Okay, bye.
No, but I want to see you make a wreath one day.
Sorry, guys. That was my son and his girlfriend.
I really want to see it.
No.
Call me. Today.
Because, Mom, I have so much going on this week, and I really wanted to do this Halloween rose. So, using this mesh, we're going to see how it works. All right, so we are done. So what happens is once you're finished preloading, the whole row will be having zip ties in it on row 2, okay? So we got, and it's every other one we're going to be leaving blank there. What we're going to do is now that we got the outside row done, we're going to work on the inside and work our way out. So we're going to do the rosebud. I like to get my little clips or clothespins, whatever, just to help me out holding the mesh in. So for the bud, I'm going to use a piece of striped and 2 pieces of black. I don't know if I have any yellow black left over. Okay, so we're going to make the bud. I'll get a couple zip ties. So when you do the bud, you're going to roll, take your right, I'm right-handed, so I always grab the right corner. Bring it in and kind of roll it in. And just try and do it slow. Roll it in so it's curled in, and it's the corner is matching the tail like that. Okay, and then we're going to take this and go around and still match the bottom corner. So it kind of, this is the inner part of the bud, and this does take a little bit of practice. I'll do that again. You're going to take the corner and you're just going to kind of roll that and 1/2 turn and just bring it down. And then we're going to go around. Take with the left corner, you just go around. And this is the back. And just hold that together like that. You can actually even put a clip on it or one of these little rubber bands. These little rubber bands are like fabulous for helping you make these flower wreaths. So you don't have to hold on to it. Okay, so I'm going to do the center bud in the black and orange, and then I'm going to put this now when you do your rose petal, you can see there's a little indent. We're going to use that indent to our advantage, okay? So I'm going to take my little, whatever this is, that sea urchin thing. I'm just going to put the two together so that the tail is matching. And I'm going to wrap it just like I did the orange. So I'm taking the right part, bringing it over, taking the left, and we're going to bring it around. And then I'm going to do just one more. You can't barely even see the orange, so I could have probably did all black, but again, I'm using the divot that's in the mesh to my advantage, putting it just up against the rosebud. Stingray, thank you. It's late. I'm usually way in bed by now. Okay. So you may have to sculpt this and mold it and everything to make your perfect rosebud. It does take a little practice. And with this mesh, it's pretty thick. I could have probably got away with only maybe using 2 pieces. Because like I said, it's really, really good coverage. But we'll see. We'll see how it works. Actually, this is supposed to go this way. The bud is a pain in the tutkus. Okay, now I'm going to take a zip tie and I'm going to go around my bud once I have it the way I want it. Take a zip tie, go around it, and I'm going about a good, it's the 20, about 4 inches, no, 3 inches up from the bottom, where I'm wrapping my zip tie around. Maybe 4 inches. Because I noticed that my winter rose, the bud stuck out just a little more than I would have liked. Yeah, 4 inches. So from the tail to the zip tie is 4 inches, okay? Then I'm going to take another zip tie and I'm going to put it in behind the back of my bud, like that. I'll cut this off. And then I'm going to put one in the front of my bud. Like that. I did this a little too tight, but we can, once it's in there, we can sculpt and mold it and everything. And all of this, we're going to cut a lot of this excess bulk off. Okay, so this is what we have. Once you get the outside done and the bud, everything else falls in place, seriously. And it's just a bit of practice. So now what I'm going to do is we got the back and the front with these zip ties, and we have 2 holes right in the center of row 5. I'm going to use the hole to one of these. So I'm going down with the tail. There's the head of that zip tie. When you flip it over, I'm just doing it out, just doing it up till it's loose, till we put the other side in. And then we're going to do the same on the other side. So the tail goes down the middle hole. And then I'm going to put the head part down that one. Do it up. And we're going to put this right dead into the center. So hold it up like that. And then pull these tight. Ah! It came out of my zip tie. What the? I didn't zip tie this tight enough. Technical difficulty. Hold on. See if I can get it back in there. Love, love, love live TV. Okay, I think I did it. There we go. I didn't pull that tight enough. There we go. Pull that sucker tight. I really messed up the bud. Oh my God. Okay, I gotta redo that. Let's redo that. Okay, let's get a zip tie again. Maybe I should have went to bed. Really, maybe I should have went to bed. Is it all gone, the orange and black mesh? Now, if you want to do a Halloween wreath, you can, if there's no orange and stripe left, you can use orange and then black as well. And alternate. This is going to be my demise, is this stupid rosebud. Okay, let's try this again. I forgot to tighten the zip tie up after I put the front and back zip ties in. Pull it tight. Okay, let's try this again. Yeah, I would rather me screw up than you guys screw up. That's why I'm trying this again. Or trying the rose again to make sure that my technique is actually okay. Down the center, pull the zip ties. So I'm pulling underneath. Because once you get the outside done and the bud done, the rest is so super easy. And anybody that has made one before, you know exactly what I'm talking about. There we go. Okay. Sticking out a little bit, but we can fix that. Oh, what the heck. Or I should have just went to bed. Okay, I'm going to do the 4 on row 5. So there's then 4 normal ones. 1, 2, 3, and I wrote right on the board. So this is black, black and orange, black, black and orange. So I'm going to take my petal, and where it's black and orange, you're going to take the tail of it and go towards the outside of the board. Again, using that little divot that's in there to your advantage, because we are going to wrap. So you see how I put the tail towards the outside? Once it's in there, pull it tight, clip that, and we are going to wrap it around that center bud. And this is where your little clips or clothespins will come in handy. Gray duct tape for what? You think, Judy? I seen that she got married in Vegas. All right, we did black and orange. You want to keep going to the neighboring zip tie. So we're going to do black. Again, all going towards the outside of the board. The only place that the tails go towards the inside of the board is on row 2, your very first one. So you're going to, and just keep wrapping each piece going around. Oh, to attach it all. All right. Okay, wrap it around. Well, this is going to turn out pretty cool. And we got one more here that's black. I know it's going to look cool because if you can see the side bud already, and there's actually a lot of people who like black roses, especially at Halloween. I have this cool skull I was thinking of putting right in the center of the rosebud for the Halloween. So we'll see. I mainly wanted to test out this mesh making a rose. Oh, really? Maybe she did get married in the same place as me. I got married at the little white chapel. All right, we are done that row. And we're going to continue on. Good thing I marked all my things. So we'll start with the black here. Doesn't matter where you start on each row. You just want, if you're going to start here, you just want to keep going around. You don't want to start. You don't want to put a piece here and then go in and put a piece there. It just won't look right. Why I'm using these big bulky things. I'll use my zip tie gun. So every time you put a piece in, you just wrap it. Now we're starting to not be able to go all the way around with our wrapping, so I just grab a couple clothespins and I just pin them up. Just to get it out of the way too. So I'm just alternating between the two colors. And that's the nice thing about the Unique in the Creek boards. You can write your pattern right on to the board, so you don't have to think about what color or what ribbon you're going to use. You can write it right there. That is super cool. You mean they rode in the same car as me and Dave. Not we rode in the same car as J-Lo and Ben. Oop, wrong one. So you just keep going in all the way around with the your petal facing towards the outside. Pew pew. I know bats or I don't know. I don't have a lot of Halloween stuff, but like I said, I found this skull. I thought the skull would be really cool right in the center of the rose. It's Halloween-y, but it's not scary, and it's kind of cool looking. And obviously you can do this for Christmas too, so you can do a red and white one, and it'll kind of look like a candy cane rose. So there's all kinds, and I'm really loving this mesh, I have to say. And then once we get everything in, we'll puff them all up and everything. You could even use black and purple. That would be cool too. Black and purple rose. You like it? I think it's going to turn out really cool when we're finished. Wait till you see the leaves, what I did for the leaves. Ooh, that was a big thump. I wonder if Dave fell out of bed. Yeah, a lot of people have a problem with the ends popping out. You just have to tuck them. If you know, some of them don't want to stay down, just add a dab of glue. Add a dab of glue, and then you can push them back down. Where was I? I think I'm all done. So when you want to make sure that you got them all, flick. And if anything comes loose, you missed one. All right, we got them all. Look how full this is already, and we're only on row 4. So we're gonna go back in. So I'm gonna pull this back, and you can see we're gonna start black here. Again, it's still going towards the outside of the board. Okay, where was I? Black, right here. And I apologize. This, like I said, this mesh is really, really good hiding mesh. You probably won't be able to see what I'm doing, but I'm doing exactly like I did through the whole rows. And I just go around, and as I put it in, I just kind of pin and put it in. Yeah, you can use a little hot glue. I usually do that at the end. Some of them, you know, they just don't want to stay down, and you have to kind of force them to stay down. Little hot glue takes care of that, no problem. And you can see how I got these little sewing clips. They do work pretty amazing for helping you have holding your mesh in for you. This is a horizontal wide stripe. It's the new mesh, and we got it in all kinds of colors. It's fairly inexpensive compared to the rest of the meshes. It's amazing for any wreath, any flower, obviously it's working really nicely for me for a rose. Nice high covering. This is going to be one big rose. Yeah, the winter rose turned out amazing. That's why I wanted to do another one. I just had to see if, in fact, if I used a different mesh with the same method, would it turn out the same? And that's why. It's one of those things where I wouldn't be able to sleep because I didn't know the answer. So I figured I'm going to do it live because I'm glutton for punishment. I'm so glad I wrote the pattern right on the board. Well, Lorraine, you're probably not going to see anything right now anyways, because this is getting really full, unfortunately. It's not like when you use a more of a value mesh. You can, value mesh is a lot thinner. Like, I can try and show you what I'm doing. It's going to be really hard. All right, I think I am done that row. Again, I'm going to flip it over because it really is hard to see if you got all of them. So I just kind of flick, and if it doesn't come loose, like, let's see, like that one, you know you got them all. Pull these in. All right, we are on the last row. Look how big this is already, and we still have one more row to go. So you're gonna pull this back and you can see where the zip tie is. Okay. And I am going to start with black. Again, still going towards the outside of the board. This is the last row. And what you want to do is kind of take that tail and put it underneath the two that are already there. So let me see. When you flip it over, you can see that the tail is right there, but you won't be able to tell it's under. Wow, this is pretty full. All right, black and orange. So like I said, I used 19 black and orange and 20 pieces of black. And I'm simply just doing exactly what I was doing all the way through, is putting the petal in, wrapping it around and kind of clipping it. And push it back, put your tail in. And when you're building the rows, what's happening is the mesh kind of poofs out and pushes against all the other mesh, and it will stay in formation. Oh, my nose is getting much better. Much, much better. Thank you for asking. I'm almost about 90% better. Thank goodness, because I'm going to be on Pinterest TV, which I didn't even know there was such a thing until I got an invitation to be on there. Pinterest TV tomorrow at, well, it's 8 Eastern time, but 5 Pacific time. Now, once you do one rose, I know it kind of probably looks a little complex. It really isn't. As long as you just keep going around and adding the petals the same way. It's really full right now because this mesh, like I said, this mesh is really good for this. You can use, if there's no orange stripe, you can just use black and buy a roll of black, and a roll of orange, black and purple, black and red. Black and red for Halloween would be super cool. We're almost done. Almost done. Not bad. Yes, it's definitely a full flower. It certainly is. And considering there's maybe $10 worth of mesh in this rose, because I still have quite a bit left. This is what I have left of the black. This is what I have left of the orange and black. And I have extra petals here, so. Okay, I think we're almost done. I think we have one more to do. So you'll see, you know, these tails popping up, and I'm going to show you how you can take care of those. All right. I'm going to take all these clips off. I'm very happy with this mesh for making a rose. Okay, so you're gonna go around, see how some of them pop up. What you can do is you can take a little bit of glue, a little bit of hot glue, put a dab just on the corner, and just kind of put it down where it's supposed to be. Normally they stay down, but sometimes, you know, you have to show them who's boss. And then the outside, we're gonna puff this up. We don't want a flat rose. There we go, because my arm, and once you get used to making roses, if you do a lot of them, you will want to start from the center and work your way out, because as you can see, because my arm kept resting on the outside row, they kind of got smushed. And that's the only way I could teach, is if I did from the outside row to the inner, because then you can see, you wouldn't be able to see what I was doing. Pretty cool. Who would have thunk a black Halloween rose? Okay. Okay, I'm gonna put some leaves on them. So I got, like I said, I got this much left, and I still have, I cut way too many. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then this. And then the black and orange, I only have one left. And I have about half a roll. All right. Just want to kind of pull these up without the corners, just the center part, because you don't want it looking like a cinnamon bun. So it puffs out really nicely. All right, now the green, I used this this olive green, I think, or no, it's sage green on the website, I believe. It's a sage green, but I thought, okay, that doesn't look Halloween-y to me. So what I did is I cut 4 pieces at 10.5 by 10.5 of this green. And I went and I don't know what made me think of this, but I did. I went and I dabbed just black craft paint onto the green. And it doesn't even, I guess if you scrape it, it'll come off. But I actually made camo mesh. I wasn't planning on making camo mesh. I just wanted to kind of dirty up the green so it would look more Halloweenish. And it made camo mesh. So you can take mesh, and what I did is I just used black craft paint from the dollar store and a makeup sponge. So this is just one of those makeup sponges you can get at the dollar store. There's like 25 of them in a bag. And I just pounced black paint onto the green and literally made camo. That wasn't the look I was going for, but it's pretty cool. So you can paint this mesh, which is really kind of different. So what I want to do is I'm going to put leaves on it. So we'll just flip this over. We're going to put a hanger. So let's just put a zip tie going through. Now I don't know if a Halloween rose needs leaves, but I thought I'll just put a couple on just to see how it looks. Okay, cut that. Now my leaves, I'm gonna do is I'm going to put maybe 2 here and 2 here. That's all I'm gonna do. Okay, so 2 on this zip tie or this hole and 2 on this hole. And I'll do it upside down so you guys can see exactly what I'm doing. So I'm just gonna put a zip tie because we're gonna use the outside of the board. And I'm just going to you're going to use it curl down, 10.5-inch piece. So curl down, obviously you guys know this is curl up, curl down into a diamond shape, the serged edge at the top left, and I'm going to take and pleat or pinch from the bottom corner all the way up to the top corner, just like this, and flip it up. Okay, and I'm going to put a clothespin on it because I want to do another one. I'm going to put 2 leaves in 1 zip tie. So again, curl down, pleat from corner to corner, flip it. I know it looks like camel mesh. Pretty cool. Add some little bit of brown in there and everything. I think I just came up with a new thing. So I'm going to take these 2 and put one inside the other like this. So I have 4 leaves. 1, 2, 3, 4. Now I want the good side facing the wreath. So because I'm doing it upside down, I'm going to flip these so you can see that that's the bad side. And I'm going to take my leaves and put the center right in between the tail and the head of the zip tie and just go around it. Oh, that's super cool. Oh, look at that. How cool is that? Oh my gosh. And I zip that tighter and then cut that off. That is so cool. So it kind of looks like dirty leaves. Love it. All right. And then I'm going to do the exact same thing right across, right here. And I'll show you how to do it with it on the table. So you're going to put your zip tie through that hole, lay the zip tie tail on the table. So the zip tie kind of makes a L shape on this side. And again, you're going to make your petals. And it's pretty cool because the paint is not coming off of this mesh. That is so wicked cool. Where's the other green one? Oh, right here. Yeah, you can make you could put brown in there and literally make a camel mesh. Get pink and make pink camo. So I got my leaves. I'm going to put this one right in the center of these two. So again, I got 4 leaves. I don't have to flip it over because I'm going to actually put the center right on top of the board where the zip tie is going to go around. That didn't work well because my zip tie turned. Now the reason I don't do the leaves first is because, as you can see, my arm, when I was making the rose, my arm goes, hits the outside row a lot. So by the time you finish your wreath, your leaves are going to be all tattered. So I always do the leaves right at the end. Although this is a Halloween rose, so I think tattered leaves would be okay. Okay, let's try this again. It's much easier doing it upside down. Just bring it around. Before I tighten it, I'm just going to make sure. Okay, give it a tighten. Cut the zip tie off. That's pretty cool. I think I'm going to put my skull in the center. Just going to glue it kind of right in the center maybe. I don't know. What do you guys think? I think it's kind of wicked cool with that skull right in the center of the rose. Just gives it something, doesn't it? I don't know. What do you guys think about the skull in the center? Yeah? Let's just go around a little bit more. I'm going to put a little bit of glue on this corner, just to make it a little bit tighter so that my skull will sit in there properly. Glue is our friend when we're crafting. Yeah? Hi, Tisha. Yes, I am much better. Antibiotics are wonderful things. All right. I'm going to put him, just going to pump some glue on the back of this bad boy. Where's his top? And he is going right in the center of our rose. Pretty cool. Now, I'm not a really big Halloween fan, but I know there's lots of people that are Halloween fans that would probably absolutely love this design. Right? All right. That is, yeah, it is a perfect touch. It's just kind of gives it more of a creepy looking look here. I'll just have to tighten this a little bit more. Alrighty, that's it. I get to go to bed now. That wasn't bad. So that technique does work, even with this kind of mesh. That's what I was trying to figure out. Did it just work because I was using a soft snowball mesh? Or will it work with using even a stiff plastic or more plastic mesh? And I think it is super wicked cool. And if these leaves, right? Look at these leaves. They're supposed to be dirty, but they're camo. Oh, that would be cool. Had hands, like skull hands coming out right on top of the leaves. That would really look cool too. But you guys got the gist. There's all kinds of things you can do with it. There is the side of it. Alrighty. Oh, my skull. He wasn't dry yet. Darn. You gonna try it? Yeah, I just thought, okay, I'm just gonna dirty these leaves up. And as I'm pouncing the black on, I'm like, hey, this is looking like camo. We can make our own camo mesh. All right, guys. Well, thanks for joining me. And yeah, now that I have this out of my mind, I can actually go to bed and sleep. You're gonna try the leaves? Yes. All right, guys. Well, thanks for watching and hanging out with me, even though it's 11:15. Tomorrow, like I said, 8 Eastern time, 7 Central time, and 5 Pacific time, I will be on Pinterest TV. So I think the team will be sending out the link for that and everything. So come cheer me on, because it's the first time I've actually done it and been invited. So I'm kind of looking forward to that. Thank you. Okay, everybody, have a wonderful night. Look how cool. A Halloween rose. Cool. Bye, everybody.